Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is T-Bone here, and welcome to the first episode of my recording of Clash Royale, something a little different other than World Zombination. So I picked up this game a while ago. I did stop for a little bit, and then picked it back up, started from scratch, and made my way to Arena 3. My most recent battle was in Arena 4, so I think if I can win one more battle, I'll be able to get into Pekka's Playground. So I wanted to show my deck first, and then see the cards that I have, and then move into some replays. My most recent few replays were pretty close, and I thought it was really interesting. So I wanted to, reflect on it, and then show us any feedback, any comments are welcome. I'm not a very good player. I really am just playing for fun, very casual. So lots of experimentation, and it's all for fun. So when I first started, I was lucky and I got a witch, and so I paired up my witch with the giant for a while, and then I wanted to try something different. So I actually, when I got the bomb tower, I decided to have something for defense. So I put in the bomb tower, and I didn't want the cost to be too high because I had the prince as well as my giant. So I took the giant out, and then I put in place the goblin to make it a average elixir cost of 4. I've played this setup now for quite a few matches, and I've done relatively okay. So let's go and take a look at some replays here. So I'll start with this one. So this is one of the first few matches in Arena 3 where I was facing someone that was higher level than me. And my intent was to drop my bomb tower when I saw the giant get dropped, but I didn't react fast enough when he dropped the goblin barrel. And then he dropped the spear goblins followed by goblins, and I was thinking, oh, I was in trouble here. But my typical strategy was to drop the bomber for those goblin units because they're pretty squishy. And also at that point, I figured he must be low on elixir, so I dropped my prince to try and take his tower down. And at this point, when we had a relatively even trade, he had a little bit of an edge with 665 health remaining compared to 420 for me. Now I knew that my deck was relatively weak against air units like the baby dragon or the balloon. But I was able to drop my musketeer to handle the aggression from the baby dragon. But that tower on the left side is pretty much as good as dead. So I wanted to focus on taking down the right tower as fast as I could. And I think at this point, what I wanted to do was to just get rid of the tower on the right. I wanted to save up some elixir, and there he dropped the baby dragon again, and I was thinking, what could I do here? So I wanted to distract. I wanted to take this opportunity and basically go after that right tower. And my opponent had the same idea and took out the left side. And at this point, though, he doesn't have the units to really stop my prince from doing massive damage to the crown tower, to the king tower. And so I decided to focus on the left tower at this point. And so I was waiting for my elixir to recharge, and there's the baby dragon again. So I dropped my musketeer to help take him out, and the goblin barrel is higher level than my goblins, but with the help of the towers and also dropping the goblins, I thought that was a good counter to that. So I decided to just leave the right side. I thought the archers, they could do a little bit of damage, but it wasn't something I was really too worried about. I was more focused on getting the left tower down while bringing some defense. And now again, he dropped a bunch of low elixir, low cost goblin units, but I was able to handle it with my bomb tower, and then with baby dragon again, just same thing, counter with my musketeer. At this point, I think that again he's down elixir. I thought it was pretty good, so I have my prince and my witch, together targeting the left tower, able to get him down, and with the time winding down, I was able to get my 2-1 victory. I was pretty happy about that one, and then the next couple of matches were even closer. I had a draw here, and I think there was a. This was an interesting one. So there's a guy that used an expo. first time I've actually faced an Expo uh, since I restarted. I did play against it before, and this time I had this opponent that used it. So first thing that my opponent did was drop a rocket on me. Unfortunately, I didn't have my prince yet, otherwise I would have dropped him. But instead, when I saw that he had dropped the Expo, I dropped my prince right away, knowing that he's completely low on elixir. And then I just needed to make sure I take out the aggression from the Expo. And then again, another, Goblin Barrel gets dropped. These are level 7 goblins, and I wasn't able to handle that. So after a couple matches, I kind of figured that I am also weak against the Goblin Barrel, so I think I might change out my Fireball um, for maybe the arrows, because it's a little bit lower cost and a higher radius, so I can at least protect against that. And so his combination of the Musketeer and Prince was a good one. Completely took out my right tower, and then with the skeleton army coming on the left side, I was in trouble. But I was able to drop my witch down. I was able to protect my left tower a little bit. And, looking up on the right, I see that the top right tower is already down to 70. So I wasn't really worried. I wanted to focus on getting my 2 crown victory here because I'm already down. And I had a lot of time left, so I wasn't worried about taking that tower just yet. Uh, his mini P.E.K.K.A is 1 level higher than mine. So, at this point, so when I shot the fireball at that point, I was the same time that he shot the rocket, which is unfortunate timing for me because I should have just sent my prince onto the left lane instead of shooting my fireball. But at that point, I thought, maybe I would just get rid of it early while I wait to attack again. So again, just timing worked out in this case for me. I saw that he had dropped a couple more units, so I dropped my prince. And now comes another push with his barbarians and his prince. And so they take out my bomb tower, and I'm panicking at this point. I dropped, my goblins. Luckily for me, his barbarians went to the other side. And when he dropped the mini P.E.K.K.A, I dropped my prince again to try and take out his left tower, which I was able to do so. And a wasted fireball on those goblins, and then another rocket to my tower. And then he drops an Expo right in front of my base, and I was thinking, oh shoot, what can I do? And then at this point, the Expo also got locked onto my tower. Luckily, my goblins were able to take him out. And then with 3 seconds remaining, I was able to hold just enough for a 2-1 crown victory. So my heart was pumping at this point, and I thought, okay, well, let's try again, and let's just keep going and see what we do here. I ended up with a draw. That was a fun one, but this was the last match that was the most exciting that I just had to show. So this is the one where I just got into Arena 4 for the first time. And, he was one of the few people that actually emoted with a nice message. So I said thank you back. Start with a witch, and mine is a level higher than hers, than my opponent's. And then with a mini P.E.K.K.A drop, I decided to drop down my bomb tower. So I really used the bomb tower a lot for defense, and I found just really useful. And he dropped the skeleton army down, which I thought was kind of interesting because the splash damage from the bomb tower was able to just take him out. So we were pretty much even on elixir at that point, except I don't have a good counter for the minion horde. So I had to use a fireball, unfortunately, and I am down to 4 elixir at this point. He was able to drop his witch, but I was able to counter with a witch of my own, and the rage spell was a little late. I didn't think that was the right timing for a rage spell. Anyway, so but I couldn't really build up a push. I was just constantly in a low in a low elixir. So I just had to wait, play defensively, against a higher level unit, and he had the minion horde, which I had a hard time defending against. So I wanted to see what he had. And so let the mini P.E.K.K.A go up to I was trying to bait him to drop some units on the right lane so I could do a two-prong attack with the prince. I was able to do so, get a couple of attacks in. He drops the skeleton a little bit too late, but then I already had locked onto the tower. So at this point, the tower's down to 60 on the left side, and I was feeling good. So got my, so I just decided to take him out now. But then that's where I made the fatal mistake because I wasted my elixir on my fireball, and then he went on a push of his own with the skeleton army and the witch, and then the rage. So I wasn't able to take out hit the witch in the back, took out my bomber and all the other defensive units I had. So the only thing I could do is to drop my bomber tower and hope for the best. He was able to take out the mini P.E.K.K.A and also took out most of the skeletons there. And so now I just have to defend against the witch. And also the continued push of the skeleton army. So what basically at this point it was a gambit. So what I did was I dropped my prince and my musketeer on the right, and it's a race against time and all the way down to 30. And with that, I was able to have my one last shot from my musketeer because my opponent just did not defend against it, and I ended up with a 3-1 victory instead of being the one losing to a 3-crown victory on my opponent's side. So I was actually surprised by that myself. I was so busy defending my 30 health king tower. So that when I saw I had won, I was just pretty happy about that. Anyway, so this is my replay. Again, like I said, this is just for fun. I'm still learning the game a lot. I appreciate any feedback, and let me know what units I should be using. That might help me with Arena 4, and hopefully I can record a few more, and see you next time.